Hello, Joanne here, jumping on to do a quick live. I'm just going to reintroduce myself because I think I said it too quickly. Hello, Joanne here, jumping on to do a quick live as I've committed to do every Monday evening. I actually pre recorded a video using one of my simple, free, basic tools that I like, which is Zoom. And I'm going to be exploring and sharing as I um, invigorate my channel what tools I use. But I wanted to be good with my word. I promised to be going live every Monday. And so here's a quick, short live, and then I'll also upload that video right after this. So today's topic is about savings and how your saving rate is really going to be the key to launching your financial freedom. And if you are thinking of engaging in the fire journey, how critical that is. So I am now starting that journey. Um, I definitely have been exposed to it, I'd say, for several years. I've read a couple books, and I have done within my um, limited resources and knowledge at that time a few things to help me along that journey. I was going through a pretty rough separation slash divorce, pretty expensive, but that's now finally come to completion. And I thank God for that. And so that has definitely taken a huge burden off of my shoulder and has allowed me to up my savings rate. So, why do I say that your savings rate is going to be the key to your financial freedom and your ability to really create wealth and pivot into that fire where you can fire yourself and you can support yourself through income from other passive or not so passive streams of income. At the end of the day, be it investing in real estate or investing in the stock market or investing in a business or other things, it takes capital. And 100%, some instances, that capital can come from other people. But often, when you're starting out, the first person that capital needs to come from is you. And not only necessarily be it that you're investing in real estate, say that even if you have this big real estate opportunity and you are able to go to people who know and trust you and secure their money towards that real estate investment, they will be more confident and willing to invest with you if you also step up and put your skin in the game, right? Um, but the other thing is that I personally have found is aside from having the capital, be it other people's money or your money, to invest in whatever opportunity you choose to follow, be it bricks and mortar real estate or REITs or a tax free savings account with some dividend stocks, whatever you choose to invest in. I find one of the key things we need to invest in is ourselves, which is spending some money to read a book or to have a program or to have a mentor. That can be hugely valuable. And so when you are able to save more of your money, then you have that option to attend that course and gather that new information or buy that book and learn from that person to then apply what they're sharing from their learnings into your life. So, full disclosure, this is not something that I myself have come up with. If you look at any person who has indeed built wealth, you'll see that they focus first on managing their money well and either getting out of what we call bad debt, which is credit card debt, car debt, line of credits, personal line of credits, or debt that is not creating income, and um, and saving more to have an emergency fund, to have capital to put and invest, be it in themselves through education or invest in different vehicles that will earn them a return. And one of the really great videos that I watched about this was from a content creator called The Rich Journey, I believe. I'll put a link to the video in my description. I found that they really did a great job of not only explaining the importance of why your savings rate is critical, but then also giving some amazing examples of how you could save. So then, in full transparency, I went and looked at my savings rate. Now, one of the things that I did, which others may not choose to do, but I personally believe it was a good choice, and is I chose to live below my means from an apartment standpoint. Well, at first it was within my means because I was spending like crazy dollars on legal costs and I didn't want to get into debt. So I was like, okay, if I need to get this done and this is going to be expensive, I've got to cut somewhere else. And so I was living in a nice apartment paying market rent, and gratefully so, a friend of mine referred me to a cooperative and I got an apartment in a cooperative. And actually it's really a God story because I remember specifically I was in a two-bedroom apartment in and I was paying just over $1,000 at that time. I think I was paying 1,300, and I wanted a bigger place at lower rent. And rents were going up at this time. It was 2020, so just as the pandemic hit, I had given my notice to leave in September 2020, and I remember just praying and asking God. I said, Lord, this seems like impossible. So I know that it would have to be you to make this happen. And I looked at a few. I did some work, so I went and I looked through some listings, and anything that I saw was cheaper was actually in a crummier neighborhood or a smaller apartment. And then one of my really good friends, we are a in a Bible study slash connect group together. She shared in the group chat, "Hey, is anybody looking for really reasonable accommodations?" Because my ex, her ex, was moving out of the co-op, and he was looking to see if anybody could benefit from his apartment. And I was like, "Oh, this sounds interesting." And it was literally maybe a week or two after. I know I'm sidetracking, but I'm going to get back to the original because this is important. Because the whole point about savings is I'm showing you how I've chosen to save on one of my biggest expenses, which is my my physical cost of living by living in a cooperative and paying rent in a cooperative, even though I have a very good job. So anyway, she posted it in the chat, and right away I texted her. And this was literally 2 weeks after I had prayed about the situation. And yeah, it turns out it was a three-bedroom, and it was uh, under $900 in rent. So it was less than I was paying for my two-bedroom, and it turned out to be the perfect location for me as well because I had a son who I recently transferred to a school called Mont Bleu here in the Gatineau, Quebec area, and I got him into the sports etude program, and that was going to cost me a pretty penny a year, but I was committed because I really wanted to give my son the best, and I felt like this program would help to encourage him with his grades, and kids suffer in a divorce, so just trying to give my kids more. So anyway, I went to see the place, and it was literally smack in the middle between my eldest son's new school, Mont Bleu, and I kept my other kids in their original schools, trying to minimize disruption. And so it was that great location. It was walking distance from many things. And if you know anything about me, I love to walk. And so, anyway, long story short, I moved into this place in September 2020, and I've lived there ever since. And my divorce initial closure started earlier this year. So I mean, when I moved in, I needed the cheap rent to help me to balance my budget with the costs that I was having legal wise. But now that my divorce is settled, is one of my biggest savings. And so when I did that calculation, as Rich Journey had suggested about looking to see how much money you're saving, and saving they defined as if you're paying off debt, if you are actually putting it into a savings vehicle, and so when I calculated it, I also considered the paying off of my mortgage on the rental property that I still own. And actually, once my divorce settled, I increased the payments on that to help me get out of debt faster there. And again, that's me, different people, different decisions. So when I calculated it, I was actually really surprised. So again, full transparency, I would say a month ago, if I was talking to you, I would not have any credit card debt. But that credit card is just so easy to spend. And so by the beginning of this month, I started to see a balance. And fortunately, I do have an emergency fund and I am stocking away cash on a monthly basis. So, bottom line, the bill came due, was issued to me a few days ago actually, and the balance was like 5,000 plus that I owed. Just to kind of put it in perspective, because I bought a lot of different things. I think I was a little bit trigger happy in summer. Anyway, I just looked through my different accounts and the amount of cash I was already putting aside, and I'll be able to pay that off in October. So, given that their definition for savings included paying off debt in October, my savings rate is going to be close to 50% because, as I said, I'm paying off a above average credit card, and then I'm putting that credit card away. And I'm also still having other savings accounts. I'm a big fan of being your own bank, and that's a topic that I will talk about on another video. But I have been exposed to that concept and read up a lot about it. It took me a while to get my head around it. Read up a lot about it since I would say about 2017. And in 2018, I initiated my first policy. I didn't structure it quite right, so it wasn't increasing in value as well as it could have. And so in 2022, I think, I connected with another insurance broker and he reviewed the product that I had, and there was a better one on the market. And I really recommend this broker. I think he and his systems, the clear explanations, the tools, the transparency, tick tick tick. I'm going to put his link as well in my description box. So I switched to him, and it was with the same core lender, not core insurance company, not lender, which is called Equitable. But this broker structured the product better to optimize my personal bank, and I actually have seen my product with him grow faster in the last couple of years than the product I had since 2018 up to 2022 when I switched to him. So anyway, with that product, I am also putting funds in to have it grow, and so I included that in my savings rate calculation because I was like, maybe I'm not saving that much, and I need to listen to what they were talking. They were talking about house hacking, which is they have a house, but most of their journey it was being paid for, or they would rent out or do Airbnb room rental. They talked about savings on groceries. I'm a huge fan on savings on groceries. Groceries are way too expensive. I don't know how people can afford to eat if you're not being mindful about the money you pay in the grocery store. And that's another video for another time. They talked about savings on gas, but they really focus on the two key things in terms of highest chunk of money that we spend on a monthly basis and looking at how you can save on those, which is housing and food. Okay, So I just really wanted to encourage you to watch that video and really look at your actual spending. Compile all of your spending for a month. You know, you can keep track of it if you spend a lot in cash, and also download your transactions from your online bank and see really and truly how much of your money you are either keeping in your account or putting into different investments or savings vehicles over your total income that you earned in that month. And then look to see those big ticket items. Is there room for you to hack and save more? The video that I'm uploading later today is going to be on no fee banking and the different, and I review four different bank accounts that are available to Canadians. If you are a Canadian and you're still paying banking fees for a checking account, you got to catch up because I think there should be no reason why you're paying bank fees, to be very frank. Okay, so I had lots of fun. Check out the links in my description or show notes for the video by The Rich Journey. It's a fantastic video, and I really want to encourage you to watch it. And it goes over how they save and even how they calculate the savings rate, as I said. And then, second, I'll have a link in my show notes to my insurance broker and some of his great content explaining about being your own bank and another great way to invest and save. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next Monday.